working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Money for nothing, chicks for free. Money for nothing, and your chicks for free. Ooh, and money for nothing, chicks for free.
Turn of Suzanne Evans. She's UKIP's Deputy Chairman and author of the party's manifesto.
UKIP sits at the Common Sense Centre on welfare. We'll never support a dependency culture, but want to end the current welfare regime that's produced unjust outcomes. UKIP's plans include supporting a cap on benefits and cracking down on fraud, ending welfare tourism with a 5-year embargo on benefits for new migrants, only paying child benefit for 2 children for new claimants, and no child benefit for children who don't live in Britain. We'll also scrap the bedroom tax and ATOS-style work capability assessments and pay carers an extra £572 a year for the vital work they do. UKIP will also put advisors into food banks nationwide so the poorest in our society can get expert advice to help them back on their feet.
Thank you. Your leader, Nigel Farage, has said he'll quit if he doesn't win his seat. So, do you rule out throwing your own hat into the ring?
He's going to win. He's not going to lose. He's going to win in South Lanark beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Very well. That's confidence. We shall see if the events bear it out. So let's see if I can do a little better on the questions of some real substance here. Let's begin the debate with you, Rachel Reeves. The thinking Conservative is a general principle. Have the Conservatives gone too far, or not far enough, or just about right on welfare reform?
They've gone absolutely too far, and this is the problem, isn't it? We've got on the left, we've got a sort of let's give everyone benefits, whatever, and on the right we've got this really harsh line, and there is a middle way. And the concern that I have about personal independence payments is who is assessing them. And as I understand it, it's back to ATOS again, who are still doing them. They've had the work capability assessment taken off.
But on the general principle, you say
arbitrary and unfair.
Hold on, but in the manifesto you wrote, you say you want a lower cap on benefits, that you want to crack down on benefit fraud, you want to end welfare tourism, a 5-year ban on benefits, you want to stop child benefit being paid to children who don't live in the UK, you want to limit child benefit to 2 children for new claimants. How is that the middle way?
Absolutely right, but we're also talking about scrapping the ATOS-style work capability assessments.
Yeah, but that's not the middle way.
Axing the bedroom tax.
That's more radical than the Tory welfare reforms.
We're not saying that we want a lower benefits cap than that the Conservatives have already proposed, and as I say, we must not encourage this dependency lifestyle. But the way in which the Conservatives have gone about doing these assessments is you know, Ian Duncan Smith can say that Jonathan's facts are wrong, and I think I would agree with him on that. But they have been far too fast and far too deep and far too arbitrary, and we should not be putting sensitive medical discussions and information in the hands of private companies.
Let me, we haven't heard from Steve Webb yet. I'm slightly confused. Do the Liberal Democrats support the welfare reforms? We come to Suzanne Evans. I mean, your 2 MPs, former Tories, Douglas Carswell and Mark Reckless, they voted in favour of the spare room subsidy, as the government calls it.
Yes, absolutely.
And now they conveniently say they're wrong, and it's now your party's position, despite the record of your 2 MPs, to oppose it. I mean, this is just political opportunism, isn't it?
It's one of those things, and I have to say I came across this time and time again when writing UKIP's manifesto. You can come up with a policy idea. It sounds great, looks fantastic on paper. You think, yes, that'll work, wonderful. When you actually try to test it, it doesn't work. And Mark Reckless and Douglas Carswell have both seen through their own constituency work that the bedroom tax is not working. So they've had awful cases.
But they had to turn UKIP before that dawning realisation came on them.
I tend to think
as long as they took the Tory whip, they never saw that.
I think that's why that they perhaps came to UKIP, because they see that a lot of Tory policies were failing.
I don't think it was over. I may be wrong, but I don't think either of them left the Tories because of the so-called bedroom tax.
But I just want to pick Rachel Reid up on this public sector private issue. It's an absolute nonsense. Either the bedroom tax is wrong or it isn't. And you can't just make that distinction between public and private, not least because so many people can't get on the public sector housing waiting list. So they are having to rent privately. They're the same people with the same incomes with the same problem. You simply can't make that distinction.
No, because you know, Suzanne, that people who get social housing are people who are the most vulnerable and most at risk.
That's not necessarily true. If that was the case, we wouldn't have 7,000 people on the housing waiting list.
But the people who get the council housing and the social housing are the people with the greatest needs. And also, this is about whether it's retrospective or not.
Well,
and
Rachel,
you've got people who lived in the same property
when I was a councillor,
all of their lives.
in the most incredible need, and they could not even get
If people
on
want to get rid of the
let me
bedroom
bring in
tax
Ian
this
Duncan
Thursday,
Smith, just
they've got to
finally
vote Labour
on
because
this.
we're the only party that committed to get rid of it.
Ian Duncan Smith, finally on this policy, which has caused you, it's quite a small part. In reverse order, Suzanne Evans, you're first.
Well, that was a bit of a bun fight, wasn't it, really? And that's what UKIP wants to do, is to bring some common sense to this Punch and Judy show that's mirrored in Westminster as it is in this studio today. We've got Labour that wants to just give everybody unfettered access to benefits, as does the Green Party. And we've got the Conservatives who want to take people off benefits, but the jobs just aren't there for them. So the only way, frankly, to knock their heads together, I think, is to vote UKIP and get a middle ground into Parliament.
Thank you for that. Jonathan Bartley.
The problem is not that there isn't enough money. The problem is that the money is in the wrong hands, and we only have to